Looking for another way to buy comics? Well, have you tried Whatnot? Let's take a little bit of a look here on this video from Bronzeville Comics. Hey there, comic book community. This is Jim from Bronzeville Comics coming to you with another video. And in this video, we're going to talk about the Whatnot app. It's an app for buying and selling collectibles. We're going to focus on comic books. And I've used it as a platform to sell, but we're going to specifically talk about being a buyer on Whatnot. In the meantime, we're just about this far away from 2,400 subscribers. We're going to be doing something big when we get up to 2,500 subscribers. So stay tuned soon for what's going to be the giveaway for our 2,500 subscriber giveaway. And if you're subscribed, you can like, you can comment, all those great things here on YouTube. Support the channel. Also, I'm on Instagram, Bronzeville_comics. Same, Bronzeville_comics on Whatnot. And we do Whatnot sales every Monday at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And check out the description for my eBay store. So I've been selling on Whatnot for about a month. I think I've done 4 shows. And I'm still kind of getting my feet wet. And I just want you to know I am, other than selling on it, I'm not affiliated with Whatnot. They're not, advertising on this channel or anything like that. I just wanted to share some of my experiences on this fairly new platform. I'm just going to show you a few books I picked up. And I was trying to pick up some deals. So I picked up this first appearance of Terry McGinnis in Superman Batman Annual number 4. I think I picked both of these up together. And I picked this up. It's Captain America 25, where Sam Wilson takes on the mantle of Captain America. Sam Wilson keys are really cold right now. And I picked this up. Just thought it was a really good deal. A Mark Spector Moon Knight number 1. I do have the entire series. I actually have all of these books already. So those are just a couple of the pickups. Now, let's take a look at the app. So you can look at it on your phone or on your desktop. And here's a desktop example. And so if there are people that you can follow, and when they host shows, it'll pop up and you'll get notifications as well. One of the things that's useful is you have the number of people that are in the show that are part of that. And also down at the bottom here, this is a new feature, I think, this week. The kind of subgenre, whether it's modern, silver, bronze. And you can look at other categories. Now, these categories here are for things other than necessarily comic books. And if you scroll, as we scroll down, you'll see there are other arts and crafts, food and drink, bags and accessories, coins and money, NFTs, watches. But we're interested in specifically comic books. And they lump it together, comics and manga shows. And you can kind of see the shows that are going on, the number of people that are there. I have to block that out because there's some adult shows going on. But even this is like 1:20 in the morning Eastern time, and there's still quite a few shows going on. So that's kind of what it looks like on the desktop. It's also available on the phone, which is usually where you do listings if you're selling. Now, there tend to be 2 types of sellers on Whatnot. There are sellers with large followings that have a lot of people in their show, and obviously in an auction. So Whatnot is very quick auctions, and there's a little bit of flexibility in terms of how the auctions can be set, but it's usually like 15 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute or 2 minutes. And more often than not, there'll be a no sniping option, which means once somebody makes a bid with less than 10 seconds remaining, it bumps the remaining time up to 10 seconds. So everybody has a chance to make another bid if they're interested in the item. Sometimes some sellers will do a sudden death where you don't have that option, but that's to the seller's detriment usually. So more often than not, you'll see that 10-second thing. You have to pay attention to make sure which option it is. Now, with the quick ones, sometimes it's difficult to kind of check what you're looking at. Anyway, so they're usually the seller will have a number of items available, and they'll go through them one by one, show you the item on camera. As I said, there are generally two types of sellers. Those with large followings, and I've seen books that are like maybe $10, maybe $20 books go for close to $40 because people are bidding on it. There are other sellers that don't have quite the following where you can get some really good deals. I've seen some big books sold just today. I saw a seller that didn't have much of a following, sold an Amazing Spider-Man 194 for about $70 and a 195, I think, for $8. And I saw a seller with a large following selling a Marvel Spotlight 5 in lower grade for under $1,000. So the money is there. I've seen, I was in a show where a seller was selling a giant-sized X-Men #1. So it runs the gamut. If you're buying, maybe you want to check out those rooms with not too many other people in there, because if you're the only one interested in the item, you might be able to get it at a bargain. There are also different types of sellers in terms of how they present their shows. One of the things that one may find distracting is a lot of the sellers will play music, and if it's not music that you're interested in, that may turn you off the show, because often you'll have to stay in the show for a while to see the items that they have, to see if you're interested. Now, there are also two types of camps in this regard. The seller can list, and there's a little kind of store icon that you can click on when you're in the show to show you the items that the seller has available. Some sellers will have each item listed, the title, the issue number, the key significance, maybe even the condition. And then there are the other sellers, they'll just be like Raw Comic Book #1, Raw Comic Book #2. And you have to kind of wait to see what they're presenting. Sometimes they'll kind of take requests. You know, if you're looking for a certain type of book and they have a lot. I found that I tend to like sellers. There are sometimes sellers that'll buy collections, and they'll just kind of go through the books, you know, in a long box, book by book from the collection, especially if it's an older book and they can sell it for at least $1. You can start the auctions as low as $1, but there's also buy it now options for the sellers, and a lot of the sellers do giveaways. So that's kind of fun to enter. You just have to follow them and enter, and you can win something. Some people do mystery boxes, blind pulls, all that sort of stuff. So it's kind of worth it to just kind of play around and look at the different things without committing. Now, one of the things that's dangerous about Whatnot is it's so easy to buy. You'll set up your profile and you have to put in your payment and shipping information. Once they have that, it's instantaneous, right? As soon as you're the winning bid on an item, boom, it hits your credit card, and the seller now has you as the person of record buying that item, and they're going to ship it out to you. What works in the advantage of the buyer is the seller does not get money until the item is actually delivered to the buyer. So it usually takes about a week. I'll start seeing items come in that were sold. Sometimes the sellers don't really have a great deal of comic book expertise. They kind of dabble in it, and they're not sure exactly what all the key issues are, and there's a lot to keep up on, believe me. I'm not always sure what all the key issues are. And so those are where you can find some good books. People can find deals. I actually was in an auction. The seller worked with me at a bunch of showcase comics, DC comics from the late 1960s, the later run. You know, wasn't Showcase 4, the first Flash, or 22, the first Hal Jordan, anything of that nature. But it was a little bit later. It was like Firehair and Johnny Trouble, things like that. And he just packaged a whole bunch of them together. and made me a deal for them. Because mostly people who are there are looking to just move the product and get the cash in. So that's something you have to watch out for. Again, it's very easy to buy. And it's easy to get caught up. This is the big word of caution. It's easy to get caught up in an auction. And since the timing is really quick, I tend to do 30-second auctions. That's not a whole lot of time to kind of check pricing on an item. Like if seller puts it up and you see something you like and he hasn't listed it previously, it's very difficult to, look at eBay sold listings or anything of that nature. You kind of have to go with your gut, and if that's something you want. And I think that's where the prices for people who have strong followings, where the prices just kind of build up. They're like, oh, that's a good deal. Yeah, it was a good deal when it was $15, but now when you're bidding $32, maybe it's not so good a deal anymore. So you do have to be aware of the approximate price of what you're bidding for. I tend to like to have it on the desktop when I'm doing something else, and then I can quickly in another tab just take a look at cover price and get an idea of what the value of the item is. The other danger, and this I think is the real disadvantage of Whatnot versus eBay, is establishing the condition of the books. The sellers, like I said, you have sellers that don't really know comics too well. They'll just put the items up and they'll be like boom, 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 and you can't tell if it's like high grade, mid grade, lower grade. It's difficult. Is there a stain there? Is that a crease or is that the light? Whereas with eBay, you can have up to 12 pictures. You can really take a look, and you can look for books that may have some pressable defects, and you think that the seller might be undergrading. It's hard to do that. Now, there are some sellers that will carefully take the book out of the bag, take the time to show the book, and you can get a better idea of condition there. And there are also sellers, and if it's a seller that you trust and you've seen them in other platforms, or you build up a relationship after buying some stuff on Whatnot from them, they'll list their condition of the book. And if it's somebody you can trust, then you can go there. But I like to, look at the item in person and see what it is. And certainly when I go on eBay, I like to really take a close look at the pictures and see what the potential defects are. Is that a stain? That may be something that, looks good, may want to steer away from. So that's my big word of warning is don't get caught up, or words of warning, don't get caught up, and be careful regarding condition. You may look at a book, even a modern book, that let's say it's a $300 book and a 9.8. But if the book they have is a fine minus, it's not really getting graded. And you might not be able to tell that by looking at the way they're displaying the book. So Whatnot, it's a fun, it can be addictive like anything else, and it's an easy, potentially far too easy way to buy comic books. So my recommendation, do your own research, check it out, be patient, don't get caught up, do your research, and be careful regarding condition. In the meantime, you can check out a couple of other videos that I've made. And this is Jim saying until next time, enjoy your comics.